I know. We dead wrong, but somehow we gonna make it all right.
One, to hear important instructions.
We gonna
So
make
it
it
appears
all
you're calling
right.
back into a live show. We are reconnecting you now.
This is the whatever happens happens because it had to happen show. We gonna make sure that everything is okay. What it took away the time that we spent, and I'm meant to do a little better, but I was bent actually. I'm never high or drunk, but I got the smoke, and we gonna make sure that we get past all that other junk, and everything is gonna be all right. We do this thing on a Saturday day, but not tonight. On the weekends, I'll be speaking about some stuff that's really tough, and I think it's just enough for us to be all right with each other. I'm sorry that I'm an hour late, my brothers, sisters. And I want this make sure that we are okay and miss the opportunity to do a little better, but I'm going to eat you up just like a wool cashmere sweater. All right, check it out, y'all. Today on the Urban Therapy with Sun show, we talk about the thing that made you want to live again. That thing that made you want to live again. In your life, you go through trials and tribulations, and there can be things that happen in your life that make you not want to live your life. It can be a sad thing. It can be a phase. It can be a period in your life. And unfortunately, for some people, it actually spells the end of their lives if they don't get the type of help that they need in order to get themselves up out of that situation, that dark situation. But for us in ours, we gonna make sure we clean you up like a shower and empower each other to do better. Everything is gonna be all right. Everything is gonna be all right. We do this thing on a Saturday and we make it right. So that thing that made you want to live again, the things that can take away from your quality of life and your zest for life and your reason for living life can be a variety of things. You may have failed or feel like you failed at something in life. You may have lost a life. The death of a loved one can really, really have a devastating effect on some people to the point where they can have survivor's remorse. Well, why is this person gone and I'm still here? And although it may not be fair to you to think that way, it may be hard to escape that type of thought pattern. So we're going to get into all of that today, man. We're going to have us a show today. It's going to be a very thoughtful show, a very insightful show, and a show that discovers our path that we have taken in our lives to get us to a place where we can finally feel more comfortable and where we can appreciate the times that we go to bed and wake up and feel good about the whole day that is in front of us and the ones that were behind us. So, when we start talking about that thing that made you want to live again, I think it's hard for us to kick off that conversation without talking about those things that made us not want to live or that made us want to die. And don't get me wrong, I don't want this show to be super dark, and I don't want to bring us down, and I don't want us to take away our ability to party sometimes. But when you start living your life, and when you have a renewed zest and thirst for life, and maybe even more importantly, that appreciation for life, it can put you in a place. It can take you to a place where as you go over in your memory the things that you have been through, the people you have met, those who you have known, actually trying to get to know yourself and figure out this thing called life. You may remember, sometimes fondly, but definitely in a introspective way, those times when things weren't going your way, those times when you couldn't find joy, those times when life had little or no meaning for you, those times when you were thinking, I'd be better off dead, those times when you felt like it ain't worth it, those times when you felt like nobody cares, Those times when you felt like, I'm tired of living in fear. I'm tired of dealing with these haters. I'm tired of my enemies winning. I'm tired of being the butt of jokes. I'm tired of being broke all the time. I'm tired of living pillow to post, being fed hand to mouth. I'm tired of not liking myself, not loving myself. I know that there's a better place to live, and this ain't the place. Sometimes we get an epiphany. Sometimes we get a revelation. Sometimes we make a discovery, or sometimes something or someone discovers us and shows us an experience that we didn't think was possible for us because we had every reason to have given up. And now, I said now, we can get back on our horse and we can make the best of things that seem for a good while to be inaccessible to us. We can get back to the things that we thought we wouldn't be able to touch, or the things that we thought were impossible for us. You know, when happiness becomes, when happiness, contentment, when love becomes something that you think is out of your grasp, that can make your life seem extremely difficult. So let's get into it. Let's talk about it today. Urban Therapy with Sun 752 with this, the Urban Therapy with Sun show. We do this every single Saturday from 2 p.m. till around 3:30-ish. And the reason that we say 3:30-ish is because sometimes it gets so heated that we just have to do a little OT on a Saturday. And it is a Saturday. This is the show where adults come out and play with other adults. We laugh, we cry, we argue, fuss, and fight, go back and forth with each other, bust it up all crazy. We take an introspective look into our own personality to see the way that the universe projects us into this thing called the world and try to figure out this thing called life. I am your host, Sun 752, aka Omar with the. And if you can't say Omar with the, well, then you just say Omar with the R. This is the Urban Therapy with Sun show. And we're talking about that thing that made you want to live again. And I think it's hard for us to talk about that thing that made you want to live again if we don't talk about that thing that made you want to die in the first place. What are some of the things that make you lose your love and zest for life? The first thing that comes to my mind, honestly, is a death in your family, a death of a loved one, someone that you really cared about, someone that you really loved, someone that was very, very dear to your heart, who may have died suddenly or been murdered. Well, you know, whether you die of sickness or an accident, or whether you were killed, the result is the same. You died and you're not here anymore. And for some people, that can be so devastating that it can make them wonder why they are here and somebody else isn't there. And they may not like the answer that they get about that, or they may not like the placement. If such and such is gone, I'd rather be gone too, because I don't like the way this life feels without them being here. You know, the way that people handle grief is different from person to person. Some people never really get over it, get through it, get by it, get past it. And as disheartening as that may be and sound, it's true. It's true. And it's actually natural. It's, you know, when you think about the finality of what death is, it keeps us wondering, how is it, why is life so limited but death so infinite? Why hasn't there ever been anybody from the other side of death that has come back to tell us, don't worry. It's going to be all right. Everything that you learned, all the praying that you did, all the praising that you learned, all of the good that you've done, it's all going to be worth it in the end. No one has come back to tell us that. And even as our faith is at its strongest point, it still makes us question. It's a natural thing to do so. But this thing can also take away your ability to appreciate life, to love life. One thing that many of the citizens and residents of my city are going through right now is a feeling of hopelessness. It's so violent in Philly right now. There's so many murders. There's so much violence. When you watch our local news, you would think that we were in a war, a real war. With military personnel and missions and things like that. It's bad. It really is. And there seems to be very little relief. There's no relief. It just seems to keep going on and on and on. 1 murder, 2 murder, 3 murder, 4, multiple murders. Nationally televised and I don't want to say advertised, but it's put out there for the world to see what's going on in the city of Philadelphia. And it's undeniable that it's true. We know people who are getting killed. We know people who are going to funerals. We know people who are losing loved ones. It's us too. So when you see, how they say, the elders always said that death comes in 3s. Well, when you see it getting past 3, when it's doubling to 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, 27, 30, it's getting bad. It's getting bad. We, in years past, we joked about the murder rate in this city. And we talked about how it would be like before half a year, before June, and we was talking about more bodies than days. Like there have been more people murdered in the city than there are days in the week. So you're talking about more than a murder a day. The crazy part about it is this city has never been a safe city, according to the crime statistics and the murder rate. Because when we talk about crime, we talk about way more than just murder. But the murder rate has always been way too high for us to get comfortable in a city like Philadelphia. So many people are feeling that hopelessness. Many people are thinking like, now you don't even have to be the one involved in any street stuff or whatever. You can still get snuffed out there. You can still get snuffed out, taken out, eliminated, rubbed out, left, done in, finished, removed, erased. It makes people not want to go out. It makes people not want to attend social gatherings. It's fear. There's fear. Because whereas before, it seemed like you were safe unless you were caught up in the game. Now, the game ain't waiting for you. Many people being randomly hurt, shot, and then there's retaliation. I'm just saying all of this to say that this is one of the things that can make you lose your zest and appreciation for life. It can almost make you feel like, man, just get it over with. Go ahead. We all got to go eventually anyway. Just get it over with, because I'd rather it just be over than for me to have to worry about if it's coming around the corner all the time. I can't deal with this fear. I can't deal with the fear factor that's involved. So how do you get past a death? How do you get past the fear of death coming? How do you get past your mom or your dad passing away? Maybe at what we would consider a young age. You know. Shout out to people who have lost their parents at a young age. At a young age. You know, when you lose your parents, you know, I spent 51 almost just 1 month and 1 day shy of 51 years I spent with my dad. I know I'm blessed and I'm lucky for that, because when I look at my peers, they didn't make it that old with their parents. I lived a whole life, proverbially, with my dad, and it was fulfilling. I always had them. There are no gaps. There are no lapses. People who have lost their parents before they were 20 years old, children who have lost their parents and grew up their entire lives thinking about what it would have been like if mommy had lived, daddy had lived. And you know, we romanticize what our parents were like when they die at a young age. They were the greatest parents. They were the best parents. We don't know. Everybody, well, most people think that their parents were great. You know, if when we do a comparison, it doesn't always stack up that way. But nonetheless, we love our parents, and when our parents are taken away from us, it makes us look at the rest of our lives like if your parents died when they were young, you wonder if you're not that age yet. It makes you wonder: will you make it to that age, or will you die at that age? But growing up without your parents leaves you susceptible to a lot of abuse and mistreatment. And that's why I shout out people who have lost their parents at a young age. Because, you know, regardless of how well you do in your life, and I hope that you do well, it can put you at a disadvantage. But that's one of those things that can make you lose just zest and thirst and love for life at a young age. So what are some things that can get that back for you? Hopes, dreams, aspirations, experiences. Being in mundane situations and monotonous situations where you're seeing the same people doing the same things, I know for a fact that can take away your zest for life. Like, you ain't missing nothing. It's the same people on the corner. It's the same people at your schools. It's the same people at your job. It's the same people in your family. It's the same people in your neighborhood. It's the same neighbors on your block. It's the same kids playing around the way. It's the same traffic in the streets. It's the same. When you get into that mode where you think everything is the same as it was the day before, well, what's going to make you miss doing any of those things, if they weren't that pleasurable to you or for you in the first place? So incorporating new experiences in your life may be one of those things that can make you start appreciating life again. You know how many people think that the same way it is in Philadelphia is the same way that it is in Cleveland? It's the same way that it is in New York. It's the same way that it is in Miami. It's the same way that it is in Milwaukee. The same way that it is in Chicago. The same way that it is in LA. The same way that it is in Utah. Well, maybe not Utah. Salt Lake City. We know that demographically it's different. We know that that geographically is different, but we figure, nah, all black people are the same. All niggas is the same. You see what they do? If they hating over here, they hating over there. And I see them hating. The internet shows me that they're hating. What the internet doesn't show you, and what it can't show you, is what happens in real time. It can't do that. Thank goodness it can't do that, because some people would never leave their home. So traveling to different places, meeting different people, and seeing new things, and gathering, experiencing new things can make you start wanting to live. Like, wow, I didn't know. I thought I was gonna. I thought I was born in Philadelphia and was gonna die in Philadelphia, and I thought I thought that all of these cities and all of these people were the same. I thought one culture was consistent for all cultures. I thought only thing that changed was the setting. I thought that all people were the same. I didn't know that when I went over here to this city, these black people appreciate each other more. They help each other more. They're more accommodating to each other. They get they find jobs for each other instead of taking away from each other and getting people fired. They help each other with their lawns, and look, they have lawns, and they don't have to pay as much for certain things, and they'll show you how to make it out here. They help each other instead of hurting each other. I didn't know it was a place where black people did that for each other, but they are. There are places like that. And you don't have to necessarily have a bunch of money. Everything isn't the way that it is where you come from. So I know that you think that you saw it all, you've seen it all, you've done it all, but that's not true. You haven't seen anything. You haven't done anything compared to what you could do out there. We have, how many continents do we have? 7 continents. We have North America, South America, Asia, Africa, so-called Europe, Australia, and what do we call the last one? Do we do the poles, or do we what's the last continent? North America, South America, Asia, Africa, Europe, Australia. What's the 7th one? My brother from another mother, Norris Hill, says, I'm the age which I lost my mom, almost 21 years later. Health concerns have me questioning my mortality. I meant she was 53 when she left. Peace to you, my brother. Being my and you know what? My uncle died when he was 23. I'm sorry. My uncle died when he was 53, and my cousin was only 23. And I couldn't even imagine how. And my uncle was sick for a while, I couldn't imagine losing my dad back then. And I'm watching him go through it. He handled it well, but I wouldn't wish that on anybody. No, it also says being my offspring is the thing that does it for me. Seeing my offspring, I'm sorry. My eyes are crap. Sometimes with my glasses, I feel like they are a clearer version, a sharper version of blurriness. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, you said an important thing. Seeing my offspring is the thing that does it for me. So many so many people have reported that if it wasn't for their children, if it wasn't for when they got pregnant, if it wasn't for seeing their firstborn or whatever being born, they said that they were already practicing death. They were drinking themselves to death. They were drugging themselves to death. They were risking themselves to death, taking chances on their lives because they really didn't want to be here. There are different ways to commit suicide other than just straight shooting yourself, taking pills, stabbing, whatever. There are non-violent ways that may be actually be violent ways to take yourself up out of here. And for many of those people who were practicing those suicidal ways or having those suicidal fantasies, the thing that turned them around was having children. Giving life and being responsible for a life are one of those things that turned it around for people. No, it says, my son turned 27 this past Tuesday. And happy belated birthday to him. That's what's up. But yeah, sometimes that would be the thing that does it. For a lot of people, that's the thing that did it. It's totally understandable for me. Seeing that baby and knowing like I'm responsible for a life. I don't want my child to suffer from any depression like I did, from any heartache or heartbreak like I did, to suffer from the miseducation like I did, the failed or irresponsible leadership like I did, the misguidance like I did, the misunderstanding like I did. You want to make sure that your children don't have to go through those things that you went through. And in trying to protect your children from that, you may make another discovery on life that helps you to bring it all back in focus, that helps you to get it all back together. That might be the team that you need to start living again and stop trying to die. When I say stop trying to die, certain people ride motorcycles.
90 seconds.
Ride motorcycles recklessly because they really don't want to live. They want to die. But they might not want to kill themselves, so they try to find a way to not have to do it themselves. Like, hey, I died in a motorcycle accident. Hey, I died in a car accident. Hey, I got into an argument with some thugs, trying to, do the right thing, and they took me out of here. Suicide by what do they call it when you shoot at the cops or whatever, knowing that they're going to shoot to kill? Suicide by what do they call that? Like when you rob a bank, or suicide by it's a way for you to get somebody to kill you, but you purposely tried to get them to kill you.
10 seconds.
What the hell? This thing got a glitch. Holy crap. Suicide by coercion, nah. Suicide by cop, yeah. Dad, cuz I talked you up. Yo, what you doing here? Man, hold on. God is working right now. What we doing? What we doing, cousin? What we doing, cuz? What we doing? I just talked about you. Did you hear me? Did you hear me? I just talked about you. I just didn't say your name. And here you come sneaking up. You know what I mean? You come sneaking in here like, nah, nigga. You know what I mean? I know you be talking about the family sometimes. You know what I mean? You'll be putting me out there on Front Street. But yeah, this is my cuz. This is the cuz I was talking about. Now it's looking like we orchestrated this, like we rehearsed it. That we didn't. I did not know he was gonna come on the show today. But look at God. Look at God. Well. But I was telling him because I don't know if you were listening at that part, but I was telling him about how in 1993 when I came to Milwaukee, you know, when your dad had just died, and how well you seemed to be taking it. But I knew that regardless of how well you were taking it, I know how tough it had to be to lose your dad at that young age. Your dad, my uncle, at your young age, and really a young age for him. You know, 53 years old. Next year, you and I will be 53. You'll be 53 on January 20th. I'll be 53 on August 12th. So when you lose a parent that, you start taking a look at your own mortality. It's almost impossible not to. So, I don't know how you were feeling back then. I don't know how you were feeling about, your own mortality or your love for life. But you had your daughter at that time. Wait a minute, he was 50? He was 50. I was nervous around 49. And for some reason I thought he was 53. He was 50. We won. We won. We won, cuz. We did it. We did it. You know what I'm saying? Let's stay in the house. Let's stay in the house till we 60 and shit. I didn't realize he was only 50. Maybe my mom was 53. I didn't realize I thought he was a little older. All right. Wow. Okay. Okay. So he was born I guess, in 43. Yeah, somehow I got that twisted. 1943 to 1993. Born on Groundhog Day, February 2nd. I got that right? You know what I mean? Yeah. So, yeah. And like I said, I don't know how you were feeling back then. I know when I was up there, we were together. You seem to be handling it really well. I think you were handling it better than me because up until then, well, your dad was the first one of our parents' generation to pass. He kicked it off. And I'm not sure if any of us were really prepared for that. I think we all thought we were all going to make it. Well, you see what happened following that. It's not like it was a domino effect, but we lost a few, after Horace, and we lost Honey, and then we lost Lisa, and then we lost Joe. You know what I mean? It's going down. And I see Bo is hanging in there, you know what I mean? And you know what the craziest thing is about Bo? I swear to God, the way Bo lived his life, and Bo is my uncle for those of y'all who don't know. Um, my Bo is my uncle. He's suffering from cancer right now, and you know he battled drugs and just kind of somewhat of a reckless lifestyle his whole life. I never thought that Bo would fight for his life, and now look. He's actually fighting for his life. I thought he would just be the one. I thought he would be the one to lay down, like, man, they finally got me up out of here. And he the one, like, nah. No, he not. I'm good. Nah, I think I'm gonna hold on a little bit longer. My uncle smoked all his life, so he has to have that trait thing that he speaks out of. And I don't even know if that works anymore. But I wonder what it is that flipped the switch for him and made him want to say, like, no, I don't want to die no more. I'm good. You know, nothing in life killed me, and now I ain't really ready to go. Does he have a renewed zest, appreciation, and desire for life? Or is there something else? Because Emmanuel Gaines says, when everybody around, it's all good. But after the funeral, when all of the family leaves, it's a quiet that you can't explain. Mm-hmm. He says sometimes when you try to clean yourself up, a lot of other ailments arise. Man, you ain't never lied. That's why some people don't want to stop doing drugs, doing things. Yeah, you know what? It's so true. I talk about it all the time. How cats that were on drugs their whole life, they finally get clean, and now they diabetes is kicking their ass. Now high blood pressure is kicking their ass. Now they cardiovascular problems kicking their ass. Now they sickle cell, all kinds of like. All of this time when I was drinking and drugging and acting crazy and acting a fool, it was like I was protected. Now, as soon as I get healthy, I'm sick. Like I was out there smoking crack every day. I never got sick a day in my life. I get off the crack. And here I am, sick as a dog. They're giving me 6 months. Yeah, man. No, it says, I felt that way when I finally stopped drinking. Yeah. That's funny. Nars, you stopped drinking. I stopped drinking. My cousin stopped drinking. But I don't think my cousin ever had an alcohol problem. Not an identifiable one, But we used to. That's what we used to do when I came up there to see him. I mean, we used to, get it in, party. We was young. We was, I mean, it's my favorite cuz. Yeah, it is what it is. We do, But things happen in your life to turn it around. But when we talk about the thing that made you want to live again, for some people, it's children. When they witness the birth or they experience the birth of their children, and they want to make sure that their children are able to be safe with them at the helm. That's one of the things that can give you life. Traveling to new places, finding love. Some people have gone their whole lives and never found true love. They never thought that they would be eligible to find love on a level that would be acceptable to them. Like, You know, true love makes you want to compromise. It makes you want to work things out. It makes you want to be more agreeable. It makes you want to be more open. It makes you want to be more accommodating. Sometimes we love, but we don't get to that level of love. It's when you get to that level of love that makes you want to be a better person for yourself and for the situation. That's when you know that you have found it. Some people never find it. Some people never find it. So you hear the way that they talk about love. You hear the way that they talk about companionship. You hear the way that they talk about being in a relationship or marriage, and you hear a lot of negativity about their description or their account of what those things entail. But when you find that real love, that may be a place where you find your real life. That might be when you finally say, hey, wait a minute, this ain't so bad. This is what everybody's been talking about. I thought they was lying. I was sure they was lying. Don't know real love exists out here. It's like that super twat that all men be talking about. Oh, I'm telling you, she got that, yeah, she got the super twat. Like, man, it ain't nothing super about that twat. I ain't had that twat, but I had enough twat to do a twat analysis. I've done a twat analysis, and ain't no super twat out there. Then you get the super twat. You like, hey yo, Twatisha. Hey yo, Twatisha. Where you got that twat from? Where you get that twat from, Twatisha? And what took you so long to get here? What took you so long to get here, Twatisha? She was ducking, hiding, running away, hiding in the shadows. Can y'all see me behind this mic? I'm behind the mic. Can y'all see me? This is what Twatisha was doing. They can't see me. Come on, Tisha. TK right said, Twatisha Netta. But yeah, finding true love might be that thing that gets you back on track for wanting to live again. Because one thing is for sure, having the absence of love and affection in your life can definitely diminish your value for life. It can diminish it. You know, people say all the time, you know, like, you know, you may want love, but you don't need it. You won't die if you don't get it. But they don't understand the difference between a physical death and a spiritual death. Yeah, you can die because you don't get love. You might be walking amongst the dead all day. I've done it. I don't know too many things more sad than not experiencing love. I don't know too many things that are sadder than that. That's bad. Bad, you know what I'm saying? Shoot. Experiencing love makes it feel like you got to that bag. You finally made it. Because it's a feeling that is hard to duplicate with any of the other things that you experience in your life. It's necessary. Even animals know that love and affection is necessary. So what makes us think that we can live without it comfortably? Yeah, physically you can survive a whole lot of things, but quality of life is what we're talking about when we talking about that thing that made you want to live again. That thing that made you want to live again. That's that quality of life. What's going on, Stacey White? Thanks for coming on through. That quality of life. That's the thing that makes you feel good about getting up in the morning, going throughout your day, and feeling good about going to bed at night. Quality of life. You know how you hear people say, "I don't want to live to be no 100 years old," because they associate living to be 100 with being old, disabled, unable, sick, and frail. Yeah. Shoot, some people associate that with being 70 years old. It's about perspective. But I think that people who have lived to be 100 years old or even close to it in their 90s, they've probably experienced the quality of life that most of us could only dream of. Because I don't think that you're going to make it till 90 years old being sad and depressed and hurt and unenthused. I don't think that you can make it to 90 years old feeling that way. I think in order to make it to 80, 90, 100 years old, I think that at some point in your life, you had to have felt really good about it. Because you might not be the pillar of health at 80 years old, but you sure wasn't super sick if you made it to 80 years old. It ain't easy to do. All of these ailments out here, all of these diseases out here. We can't even count on the air that we breathe, the water that we drink. We drinking out of plastic bottles of water. Man, that was unheard of when I was a kid. Bottled water? What is you crazy? We drunk out of the damn garden hose. What? What? We didn't think we would have to drink bottled water in order to drink safe water. That's where we are. So yeah, that thing that made you want to live again. Children can make you want to live again. Love can make you want to live again. Traveling, experiencing having new cultural experiences can make you want to live again. Twatisha, no, wait. What make me want to live again? You turned on my. All right. What are some other things, y'all? Yeah, I mean, let me go to chat. What are some things that y'all know can make a person have renewed faith, love, desire, and appreciation for life? What are some things y'all can think about? Some people might think that money does it. I don't. I've known too many sick people that had a whole lot of money in the bank. I think money might be a quick fix. You know, most of us, we just want to be able to pay our bills. We figure if we don't owe anybody, then we can live our lives. But I'm going to tell you this. And if I said it once, I've said it 1,000 times. If your problems If the problems that you have in your life are mostly financial problems, then you are living a good life, a decent life, an easy life. Because you can make some money. You might not make the type of money that you want to make, but that has everything to do with your focus, your determination, and your planning. But you can make some money on your own. You can do that. Here's what you can't do. You can't control how the blood courses through your veins. You can't control how your heart beats inside of your chest. You can't control the way that your liver processes your food. You can't do that. You can't control the way that your brain processes information. We can do things to try to control it, but we can't press the remote control. You can do that with money. You can steal money. You can. You can steal money, but you can't steal good health. You can't steal real love. You can't rob a good feeling. You can rob someone else of their good feelings, but you can't give it to yourself. So what are those things that make you want to live again? Narciso says, being vulnerable with impunity. Woo wee! Woo wee! I'm talking square biz to you, baby. Yes, I am. Being vulnerable with impunity. Wow. Stacey White says Aspen. A lot of people going to think that that's a mountain resort in where is it? Colorado? Where's Aspen? Anyway, yeah, those things that made you want to live again. A lot of people don't even know that they've been practicing death because they may be doing it subliminally. You know, when you drink a lot, when you use drugs, people will tell you in a New York minute, I'm doing this to dull the pain. I'm doing this to try to forget my problems. I'm doing this to try to relax. I'm doing this to relieve stress. And they're doing the exact same, they're doing the exact opposite of that. Drugs and alcohol do not relieve stress. They just get you further and further into an addiction that causes you more and more stress. There's nothing more stressful than nursing an addiction. Nothing more stressful than being healthy and chasing health at the same time, because you're really unhealthy. You're unhealthy mentally. Stacey White says, oh, Aspen Olivia, my feline. That's a cat. Cool. It's funny because, you know, they say that animals, like pets, cats, dogs mainly, do a lot to reduce your stress level. But I've never heard it said that they renewed your zest for life. But I guess it's possible. I guess it's possible. Narciso says, I imagine we all want to let down our guard without looking over our shoulders. We want to. Yet we fear the wrath of the person that lets us do it. We think people are making us let our guard down so they can catch us off guard. Bow! Bow! Take that gut punch, pussy. Bow! Yeah. Keep it up. Keep talking. Keep talking. And it's funny because being bullied evidently makes some people so sad that they want to take their own lives. But being bullied is about being fearful. So it's not that hard for me to understand. Who wants to fear for their life day in and day out, time and time again? Who wants to do that? I don't want to do it. You don't want to do it. We don't want to do it. Nobody really wants to do it. So it's the human mind, man. The human mind and our approach to what life is. Because, like, once again, I'm talking about quality of life. That's a term that many of us have no conception of. What is quality of life? Well, quality of life is the value of life that makes you want to live life. It makes you like life. It makes you like life. You know, I think of two people when I think about quality of life. I think about my grandmother, Virginia Games, because she was alive. You know what I mean? My grandmother was funny. She was outspoken. And one thing is for sure, she was alive. She knew how to have fun. She did. She knew how to have fun. She loved the good, she had that, y'all know how I have that big laugh. She had that too. When she thought something was funny, she let it out. She wasn't one of those. And everything wasn't funny, but when it was funny, it was funny. She let it out. The older she got, the more she let it out, the less she kept to herself, because she could see that there's no value in trying to keep everything a secret or trying to be cool all the time or trying to impress people with your composure that don't care about your composure. They're trying to knock you off of your composure in the first place. So beat them to the punch. How about that? Beat them to the punch. And the other person was my dad. My dad always talked about living to be 100 years old. Always, always, always. That's why, like, near the end, where he wasn't talking like that anymore, and when he seemed to have chosen to leave this world, I couldn't understand it. I understand it a little bit more a year later, but I still don't fully understand it, even though I think I do. I think I understand it without accepting. Can y'all do that? Can we do that? Can you have understanding without acceptance? Well, if we can, I did it, or I'm doing it. But I know for a fact that he had lost what was quality of life for him, and he didn't like it. And I get that. He lost his quality of life, and that wasn't going to get it. He didn't like being sick. You know, there are various ways to look at that situation. He had his way, and I have my way. But I've been told when I get there, then I can start talking shit. But for right now, I gotta live my life. So I've been told. Okay. Stacy says, it's real sad when you don't have a spiritual connection with God and you can't see you can't see in the spirit realm. I can dig that. I definitely agree with that. Living life in a pure physical form can take its toll on you. All right. What we gonna do? What we gonna do now? We're gonna do these birthday. Ow! I bit my tongue. We're gonna do these birthday shout outs and then we're gonna get on the out of here. Yes, we are, baby. We have some birthday shout outs to do. Some people were born on this glorious October 8th, and they deserve to be acknowledged. So let's go about our business of acknowledging them and making them feel special because they are special, because they are special, because they are SPECIAL. They get the RESPECT. They are SPECIAL. They get the RESPECT. They are SPECIAL. They get the RESPECT. They get number one out the box. Lita Siobhan, loving mine right. I'm sorry. Lita Siobhan, loving mine right, turning 48 years old today. And also Paulina C. Young, turning 37 years old today. And Nashay Alice, turning 41 years old today. And Cheryl Price, happy birthday to you. And Nilsa Nunez, happy birthday to you. And Alicia, turning 45 years old today. And Simone on Holmes Cartwright, happy birthday to you. And my man, Gene Shogun Morris, my man, talking about he turning 36 years old today. All right. I'm thinking that we got to put 10 on there, but so it's all good. And my girl, Margaret Stiletto, last but not least, Margaret Stiletto, turning 51 years old today. I want to say happy birthday to all of y'all and anyone else out there who shares this birthday on this glorious. Sorry, I got some of this cold and ream stuck in my throat. October 8th, anywhere out there in the world. I hope that today finds you in good health, happiness, mind, body, soul, and spirit. All of y'all go ahead and turn up. But don't turn up too loud. Just turn up loud enough so everybody can hear you. Rock out, rock on and do the damn, the rock out. Rock on and do the damn, rock out. Rock on and do the damn thing. You do your thing, y'all. Represent the queens and kings. You do your thing, y'all. Represent the queens and kings. Good things happen to those who wait. Great things happen to those who grind. And anything can happen to those who go for theirs. So go hard, go for yours. And remember, man, listen. That thing that made you want to live again, that thing, that experience that made you want to live again, that thing that flipped the switch for you, that thing that made you say, na 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 na, to make it say, na 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 na. It'll make it say na 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 na. It'll make it say uh uh na na. Hey, it's a real thing. It could be a baby. It could be your baby. It could be a baby, and it could be your baby. It could be something that you never saw before. It could be a sunset or a sunrise in a land that you had never been before. It could be something spiritual. You know what I think is interesting? Before we shut this thing down, you know what I think is interesting? I didn't talk about how your faith in God can make you want to live, even though I think that it can. But the reason I didn't say anything about God making you want to live is because religion kind of teaches us to prepare for our death. So it's interesting that we don't talk about how, our faith in God makes us want to die. It's supposed to make us want to live. But when you really think about it, they talk about everything that's going to happen when you die, everlasting life after death. But that's another story for another time. We ain't got to get into that. I'm going to talk to y'all tomorrow. Yes, we will have a show tomorrow. Yes, we will. Because the game ain't till 4 o'clock tomorrow. So tomorrow, we're going to have another Urban Therapy with Sun show. See? You see how that works? So, peace to all my day ones, my everydays, and my brand news. I love y'all to death. Resuscitate y'all. I love y'all right back to life. Make sure that y'all hit that like button, y'all. Make sure that y'all share the show. Make sure that y'all subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet. And thank y'all for coming through. Yo, peace, my cousin Manual Games, and everybody else. I appreciate y'all. One love, baby. All right, so Blog Talk, I'm going to get you out of here. Oh, yeah. Come on, get out of here. And
thank you for using Blog Talk Radio.
Yeah, and for my YouTubers, you know just how we do, but thanks for coming on through. See you on the other side, my boobers. Peace. All right.